Hey everyone, thank you for joining the Nate and Ryan podcast. I want to mention our sponsor for this episode. It is Chirp. They do all automation. So what they do is they text, they email, they put ringless voicemails for you. And for my company, we booked 5 calls for tomorrow simply by just sending out a batch of emails to 100 people saying, hey, we would love to come in your home and do a service, do a maintenance of some sort. And that really worked out. So Chirp has been really the backbone of my company, and that's why they believe in us by sponsoring this podcast, and we believe in them, and that's why we want them to be a partner. So today we have another vendor that we use, love and trust. Nate can do the intro because I think he wrote one. I'm not sure, but he's the organization guy, and I'm just I'm the kid that everyone deals with. So go ahead, Nate, if you have.
I just keep you on a leash and keep you.
Yeah,
that's my job. Today we have Bry Reinhardt with us. She is the VP of Customer Success at Popl. Many of you, I'm imagining most of you have not heard of Popl. We are excited to use them. They are a company that has created this tool to have a digital business card, and it drastically reduces the awkward thing of exchanging information. And we use it all the time. We'll tell you why, because we had so many problems with printing business cards and reprinting business cards. So we started using Popl. She is a founder, one of the founders of Popl. And so we're excited to talk to someone who started a business. This is a business podcast. So that's what we do, is talk to people about businesses. So not only are you someone that's there knowing what's going on today, but you were there in the beginning when it started. So we're excited to have you on the show. Thanks for being with us, Bry.
I'm happy to be here. And clarifying, I'm on the founding team, but our official founders are Jason Alvarez-Cohen, Nick Ishins, and their partner, Jeremy Greenfield. So he's the CRO, Jason's CEO, and Nick is COO. And I am very happy to be here and tell you anything you want to know about Popl and our story.
Yeah, tell us your story. How did it start? How did it get created? Tell us that whole thing.
So me, Nick, and Jason, the Nick COO, Jason CEO, they were friends in college at UCLA. We all went to UCLA. But we were invited to a party in the Hollywood Hills, and someone used an NFC card on Jason. And it didn't really have a beautiful UI or anything, but it was that magic factor of tapping the card to the phone, boom, instant notification, no app required. He's technical, so as someone who codes too, he really saw the beauty in that and how it could be viral. And he said, why don't we just do this better? I'll create an app and we'll go from there. And that's kind of how it started. And shortly after that, Popl was incorporated, and it was really a fun, fast ride from there.
Awesome. Why the name Popl?
Popl is actually the name that we came up with after a different name, Ripple.
Yeah. Okay.
We decided to change to Popl because it hadn't been taken yet. There's lots of other companies that have Ripple. Ripple was supposed to be the ripple effect of socializing, but Popl seemed to have a similar fun tone to it. Also, people, popular, kind of that vibe of like a social product, and a 4-letter word was something we were looking for. So it kind of came together that way.
Is there a reason behind, is there a why behind the what on the 4-letter word, or you just wanted something small and to the point?
Well, when you're looking for something on the NASDAQ, you want a 4-letter word. It's ideal.
All right, cool. Got it. Sweet. Well, that's fun. And how big is the company now? I mean, either you can tell us monetary, you can tell us like number of employees, like how big's the outfit now?
We're hiring fast. I mean, even the last 2 weeks, we just hired maybe 5 more people. So it's around 35, 40 employees now.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah.
So you really said cool. you were at UCLA. Were you going another direction with life and then decided this is an opportunity I wanted to jump on?
Yes, I was, and I'm also doing things outside of Popl that were consistent with what I was doing at UCLA. I studied psychobiology, pre-med, and I decided that it was too amazing of an opportunity to pass me by, because I was living around this amazing environment where you're just building and you're passionate, and I could see it gaining traction. And I decided to start working and doing whatever I could. And then I became the master fulfiller. We were just fulfilling hundreds and thousands of orders from our apartment, but I was still working in a gene therapy lab. And I'm actually concurrently in medical school now.
Oh, wow. So you have your hands full.
So basically, she's smarter at least than you, Ryan. She's
Most
slightly
people are smarter than me, so that's fine.
Than you.
Cool.
What is can you, so this is an audio podcast. Give someone just as best as you could describe, like, what's the experience when you experience a pop on Popl?
When you experience a pop on Popl, it's like magic. So what happens is you have your phone, you met someone really cool, and they're trying to give you their information. They bring out this card and they're trying to tap your phone, and you're a little bit confused because you never experienced this before. And they tap their card to the back of your phone, and all of a sudden a notification appears. You're like, whoa, how'd you do that? And you open it, and it's their profile with all of their links, and you feel excited because it was so seamless. And then you find that you can share your info with them. And you remember, I don't have Popl or an app, and I was able to have this really cool exchange of info. So that's what it should feel like.
Yeah, I would say that's pretty accurate.
You have so much excitement about it, so that's awesome. I loved it. I loved the idea of it at first. To me, it was like, my own like little person. It was so easy to set up, and it was my own little personal web page. It seemed like, and it wasn't. I've done that awkward thing before. I'm an extrovert. So is Ryan. I love talking to people. I will sit and meet a stranger and talk to them for a while. But it's such an awkward experience when you're like, okay, I want to keep this going. Do you have a business card?
And you're sitting there for like 2 or 3 straight minutes, or they're telling you your phone number, and you're like, I hope I don't mess this up, when you're typing it in. So, you're that
awkward thing where I'll call you, and then now you have my phone number, but then all you have is your phone number. And we live in so many other different spaces on the web right now. So it just makes so much sense. You can you custom make those things, that your Popl page, so that you can have whatever social media you use. And I used it for this podcast. So it's like, it's got my info on there, but then you can click on our podcast and you can immediately start listening to episodes. It makes it.
What do you have on your Popl, Nate?
I have that. When I've met a couple people that I thought, hey, they'd be great guests for the podcast. So I have our application right on there so that they can click on that and fill out the quick Google form to apply to be a guest on our show. I'm an old guy, so it's like there's Facebook on there. And I don't have a TikTok.
I got my Facebook on there, dude. It's no shame.
All right, man.
I got Facebook, Instagram, link to the podcast. I have leave a review for my company. That's a big one, which I think could you guys could bring that out to contractors, because the pop is so like an experience. Like, you can have each technician having their little pop, and hey, would you leave me a review? And then pop, there it goes. I think companies would pay for that. Because we have a review software we pay a lot of money for. And it's kind of the same concept. And Popl's like, how much is the card? Like $20 maybe. If
you're doing custom, it's $30, but our standard card's $5.
Yeah. So for $5, you can streamline the way you take reviews. You can just have the review with, that technician, and then he can pop it, done, leave the review. It costs you $5. It wasn't some fancy software, but you can have that plus the company's info. Obviously, you wouldn't want the technician to have his info in there, so they're calling his cell phone. But you can make company ones. That's just where my mind goes. But there's you can do LinkedIn, YouTube, any platform you have can go on your Popl. So.
And a lot of the people that we work with are, maybe a guy in a truck, an electrician, a plumber. He's in a truck. He might be stopping at a gas station and meet someone that he needs to, they start up a conversation and would love to, he doesn't have a business card on him, but he would love to be able to stay connected to this person. His hands are full. What I love is the sticker on the back of my cell phone. And I can just take my cell phone and touch their cell phone. And then, hey, we'll talk later. And you go. I think it's an amazing product. We had a situation in our company because we just started our consulting company. And then we decided, maybe, I don't know how far you got down the other name route on Popl. You said there was another name on the books for a little while, but we had a different name for our company. And then we printed up business cards, and then we changed our name, and then we spent all that money, and then I have a whole thing full of business cards that are useless now.
Yeah, that's one of the struggles. You can instantly update your Popl. There's many, many benefits of it.
And branding in general is so much, there's a bigger awareness around branding and how much it matters now. And I think I see a lot more companies rebranding more. I see a lot, things are changing. We did it. We used to be Giant Consulting. Now we're Atlas Consulting, because it rang better and it fit better with our story and yada, yada. So, you were talking about how you guys rebranded from Ripple to Popl, that there's a lot into that. So, it really just streamlines the whole process. Is there anything outside of the little scope that we're using? How simple is your business model basically? I mean, are people simply just using this for here's my contact, pop and go, or is anyone else using it for other reasons maybe?
We have a lot of different use cases. And just based on the many different small businesses that you quoted, there's a lot of ways that you can use Popl that is similar or maybe slightly different. So you name plumber or just other maybe in-person roles where you're getting clients through word of mouth. That's great to have your Popl device, or even print the Popl QR code, put it on your car because someone can scan the QR code. It's not that tap magic feature, but you still have that potential two-way connection with your QR code. So I guess that's an extension of a similar use case where you're doing in-person marketing for yourself as a contract worker. You could also use it as a team. We have a big Teams-based platform now, which is one of the North Stars of our business, where we are getting enterprise clients to onboard their entire teams. And then you can manage your entire team's digital business cards from one place. You can integrate directly with tons of CRMs. We have direct integrations with Salesforce and HubSpot, but it's a way to get granular data on how your business is operating in terms of connections, lead generations, views and engagement on different links or whatever you put on your profile. So there's a lot more you can do and a lot of data you can generate with Popl that businesses are using at scale. Some really cool clients that we have are the Phoenix Suns. We just closed the Phoenix Suns was our first NBA team, and then also the Charlotte Hornets.
Oh, wow.
And that's
cool.
To also explain the breadth of the different types of people who can use Popl or different organizations.
Yeah. What do they put QR codes on their tennis shoes? How are the players using it as well?
Yeah. So this is for their management team. I'm not personally in contact with that client and exactly how they're using it, but to my understanding, it's their their executive team, and they're using it just as digital business cards for when they're doing their daily tasks, and they want to manage the executive team and how they're using their business cards. Though not the players yet.
Yeah, that's super cool. That's super cool. Any other fun stories and applications for this? I mean, especially how do people at college use it at UCLA?
So it's funny you bring that up, because initially we were thinking this was going to be a social product. The idea was, I meet someone super cool. I don't want to type in my Instagram. It might even be loud at the event I'm at, so it's an easy connection. And we were thinking even younger people, younger in quotes, because young professionals is our target market, but we were thinking college use case would be awesome. But college students don't really have a budget to pay for most things. Not that it's expensive to use our optional in-app subscription, but a big part of our business is our software. You don't need the in-app subscription to use Popl, but there's lots of features that come with that. And college students were not about to use that. So they can use the free version, and people are using it. Young professional or business majors, they might get more utility out of Popl too, because they do see it as a networking opportunity to have a business card of sorts, whether it's digital or not. But we have learned that college students, maybe they'll grow into our pro super users, but young professionals is really, I think they get the most value out of the product and our platform.
What is the space like? The other I don't really know. You don't have to name them, but like I'm sure there's other people doing this. What sets Popl apart from other digital business card platforms?
The software. We have a really built out Teams platform, and we have an app with 2 in-app subscriptions with tons of features. So just the capability and the ease of use of the software itself is really what sets us apart. Some other platforms don't have an app, and they just use the web app. So when you share your Popl, what comes up on the other person's phone, because they don't have the Popl app, is a link to a browser. And so some companies just have that link, and they don't use an app to manage your platform. So that's a big differentiator, because that also means that you can't capture the other person's information. So it's not a two-way exchange. Right. Others, they don't have products even, or physical products. They just have the app itself, which is okay. It just depends on what you're looking for. So maybe I'd like to say we have it all, but no, there's some competitors in the space. That just means that it's a good market to be in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, good job. Yeah, I like, I like how easy it is to use. I mean, that's what Apple was really big on, was like, hey, we have to make something that's easy, it's got to feel right. Everything's got to flow. And I think you guys do a good job with that. And app development is no joke. I mean, it's expensive. It's always changing. It takes forever to make one change, so it's a big deal. And I think you guys did a really good job with that.
What did you guys do? Like, how did COVID affect you? Did it help? I wondered, did it drive some of what you did?
Yeah. When did you start? Let's start there,
So we launched Popl in March of 2020, and a quote from Forbes that I found out maybe 14 months after this was, business card sales went down by about 70% that month. Mm-hmm. Now, you might think that could be bad, which we were concerned about, although at the time we weren't necessarily thinking we are a digital business card solution. We are a connecting solution. So right. I think our naivete kind of helped us keep our minds open with the changing climate, but we really soared. We sold all of our inventory within 10 days of launching Popl. And that viral video we had where a girl in the gym, our friend, we filmed the TikTok in the gym at the UCLA gym. She shared her TikTok direct with Popl. So tapped her Popl to a phone. It was from the point of view where you're just that's a camera looking at her. She shared it instantly. You got that magic factor of the pop. We got 80 million views, and it was really just uphill from there in terms of traction. And COVID didn't really negatively impact us, which was a blessing. We launched our business when COVID started, and it was actually a great year in terms of Popl and growth.
Yeah, I would imagine it'd be a great alternative when people are not trying to physically exchange things, and you have a solution where, you can make that possible. And so I think I would imagine it had something to do with actually your success to start.
Yeah, the contactless solution.
Yeah, for sure. So with your friend that was in the gym, and she helped get the video viral. Did she have a huge TikTok following to begin with? Did you seek out somebody like, oh, which one of our friends is the best with social media? We'll have her do it. Or was it like, hey, Tiffany, come here. I want to make a video of you real quick. Like, was there any plan or execution around that?
I would say that it was closer to the former. So she was growing on TikTok. She is a lot bigger now. She has at least 1 million followers on TikTok, but she did not have that many followers at the time. I think maybe it was in the tens of thousands.
Tens of thousands, yeah.
Which is
so
more
somebody
modest.
with somewhat of a platform.
Exactly.
Yeah. And did you knew that about her, or like did you really look for someone who had the best platform within your reach, or because because where you are, I mean, there's a lot of people that have somewhat of a platform. So like I'm just getting curious around like why her specifically. I mean,
well, when you're just starting out and you're trying to bootstrap and you don't have a budget for marketing, you're using TikTok to get some organic growth, you think, who's the best person in my reach that I can use to help us get this going? And we knew Arev was growing quickly, and she had one viral video. So we said, hey, Arev, like you said, you want to film this video with us?
Yeah.
We're not going to give you anything in return except our appreciation, and we'll see what happens. And that video blew up, and it continues to blow up every time we repost it. I don't know the last time we reposted it, but we've learned a lot of tools about TikTok marketing, and we were also lucky to be in early. Like March of 2020 was when TikTok was really gaining traction, the beginning of the pandemic. So not sure how easy it is to go viral now versus then, but it was a great time to get in. Yeah.
Can you let us know any of the I'm very familiar with Instagram and Facebook's rules, but I don't know any of TikTok's rules with their marketing. Do you know any off the top of your head, or can share?
So in terms of marketing and how that's different from actually running ad campaigns on TikTok and the rules around that, not positive. But the viral tricks that were really discovered by Jason, who is our CEO, also CTO, but he loves social media. He was kind of in control of that. He learned through all of the videos that he made early on that POV is really powerful, point of view, because it feels like you're in there. Short to the point. For us, it was really getting that pop in early enough to keep someone interested. Also, a setting where there was an attractive girl, or just kind of like that story of, oh, hey, can I get your information? Was just a good setup for the videos. We had all different sorts of videos, and this is early on. Our brand voice was a lot different. Now it's much more professional. We don't really use TikTok as much. We lean into Google and Facebook ads, but yes, something interesting, some sort of story that you can capture in the least amount of time possible is good.
Yeah.
So Ryan, your plan of getting one of your technicians to go viral is just not going to work, buddy.
I have great looking technicians. Are you kidding me? All right, fair enough. Go ahead, Nate. Go. What do you got for me?
No. I was going to go
my day some more.
No. I know you're taking notes. I know you're trying to reproduce what they did in 2020, but it's just going to have to be a little bit different, is what I'm just getting at.
Yeah, I get it.
That's all I'm getting at.
I get it. Well, here's the thing. Where are you at now, Bry? What part of the country? Yeah. Okay. So when you're in LA, there's models everywhere. When you're in Baltimore, not so much. Okay. So the vibe is totally different. And when you're in LA, everyone's walking around like this with like their cell phone and like. So I liked it. I spent some time in Orange County, and I liked it. Just like doing, not like I ever lived there, but did a lot of trainings and stuff like that. And I would say probably one of my favorite parts of the country is San Diego, but I do like the Southern California vibe.
Well, I mean, you might have to. No,
San Diego
Ryan doesn't.
love.
Ryan.
Yeah.
You might have to go there now, Ryan, because you just said that Baltimore, you couldn't find any good looking people to do viral videos in Baltimore.
There's not as many. I mean, we're crab people, dude. We fish for crabs. Like, are you kidding me? So, all right. Well, I think that's good.
I got a serious
unless you got
question.
other questions.
I do. I got a serious question. We're gonna because so I have an amazing, super talented wife. She works in the cybersecurity world, and she goes to conferences, and I actually got her a Popl, and for one is in a little basket of things for Valentine's Day, so that she could use it when she goes to conferences. And her first question was like, "Is this secure?" Because obviously, of all the people in the world, a cybersecurity conference, they're going to be reluctant to scan things.
Mm-hmm.
Back it up. You got your wife a Popl for Valentine's Day, bro?
It was in a basket, dude, of other cool things, and she was actually excited about
What were those other cool things, Nate?
I
don't want to know.
Yeah, you don't want to know. You want to know.
All right.
I like
All right,
it.
Bry. What do you got?
I actually don't like getting flowers for Valentine's Day because I can't use them. Like, it's nice. It's nice, but I'm just I like your thought process with giving something that I could use that's not going to die like a flower. so
I get flowers for my wife. I usually try to get them on random Tuesdays that have nothing to do with the right time. You know, the time you're supposed to get it. I usually find that that's a little bit better way to approach that. But yeah, there was other things in the basket.
I asked the lady. I got flowers for my wife, and then I asked the lady. I was like, "Can you put a dozen more roses in this?" And then my wife's like, "Why are you so extra all the time?" I was like, "Yeah, it's just who I am." Because I don't think my wife likes flowers. I think she just doesn't have the heart to tell me that because I try, but whatever. But the cybersecurity question.
My serious question. I had a serious question.
And it's a good question. Yes, Popl is secure. So we use
You're
AWS.
effed. It doesn't work.
We use AWS as our data center and server, and we have recently become SOC 2 compliant. So Service Organization Control 2, which is the security framework that is an optional framework to comply to, but it's really important for enterprise companies. And a huge driver of us becoming SOC 2 compliant was our enterprise clients that demanded this of us. So that has really scaled up our security measures. And we're also GDPR compliant, which is like the European equivalent to SOC 2.
Oh, wow. I don't know anything you just said, but it sounds like that's a whole nother world.
Yeah, it is. It is. And it was a lot of work. If you go to Silicon Valley and you just drive around, all of a sudden, every single billboard you see is about SOC 2 compliance. It's like, such a tech hub. It's funny, but that's just an aside. It's a tough process. It requires a lot of work, a lot of paperwork. It's just how your data is stored, managed, making sure that all of the employee computers are encrypted and there's like multi-factor authentication in every single application you use, password security measures, just all of these other details that are behind the scenes is what that is.
So side note, for 3 days I worked for a tech company in the accounting office, which if you know who I am, you're like, no effing way.
I didn't know this.
Yes, for 3, and it lasted 3 days.
I didn't know this.
So they protect the cloud, right? So we send things up in the cloud. They're the ones who protect the cloud, is what I was told, because I still don't understand it. But the owner came down from his corporate office. You know, I made it to the last round of the interview, and he only had one question for me. He was like, have you ever done anything horrific, like stolen a lot of things or any, like, you know, serious crimes of any kind? And I just said, oh, not yet. I'm too young. And he he did not like that answer. And the guy who was trying to get me the job just looked at me like, dude, you did not just say that. And I was like, I'm not a thief, man. I don't know what to tell you. Like, but I stayed there for 3 days. They told me to go get them donuts. And I was like, I was kind of like dad, you know, getting a pack of cigarettes and never getting milk and never coming back. Like, that's kind of how it was. Like, I was gone, dude. I was like, I'm not getting donuts. I'm not typing in an accounting firm. Like, it was like, match this number with this number. And I got too much ADD for that kind of stuff. So that was the extent of my career in the tech field.
You just didn't make it, man. You didn't make it.
I didn't. I wasn't good enough. I wasn't good enough for him. So it is what it is.
I find it's interesting that, so coming from the automotive industry, security is one of those things that I feel like it's oftentimes like the last thing people think about when they develop stuff. I find it interesting that it was driven by your clients. It was driven by the clients to do that. And so that communication and that being aware of what people want and what they need, I think that's good business sense for no matter if you're in a tech company or an HVAC company. That's good.
Are you familiar with Y Combinator?
No, I'm not at all.
The reason I brought this up is because their slogan is make something people want. Y Combinator is one of the largest startup accelerators based in Silicon Valley. And you applied to be part of it. Companies that went through it, including us, were Airbnb, Dropbox, DoorDash. But I just brought it up because you're so right. Make something people want.
Yeah.
Maybe they need it too. Hopefully they do. Sometimes, you know, need is an interesting word, but they must want it. So it's really powerful.
Yeah. Business. Yeah. It's a conversation. It's like this weird artistic conversation where you're responding and you're connecting. So it makes sense. You're a connecting company anyway. So it makes sense that you're paying attention. I think it's really cool. But yeah, security is it's like the last thought when it comes, it can be the last thought because you spend so much time. You said in the beginning, the whole thing that drove this was like, hey, we could do this better. We can make it look cooler. Have a good user interface. Those are the kind of things that you think of first, but security is obviously pretty important as well.
Yeah. To clarify, we have always had encrypted customer data, both in transit and at rest, but we've upgraded our security measures, like the examples I gave, to make sure that we can comply with these enterprise clients and their standards. But yes, you're right. We have definitely adapted based on customer feedback, and we continue to do that. And that's part of my role that I love. So I have direct communication with so many customers, and they tell us what they want. You don't always do everything they say, because the famous Ford quote, if I think he would, in reference to his employees, if I asked my employees, what they wanted, they would say, build a faster horse. And he built a car. So sometimes you put in perspective what someone wants and then what someone wants that you should make, because you could make something that's different from their vision. But you're right. It's like an artistic conversation, and being able to understand what to say and what to listen to is a skill, ever evolving skill.
Yeah, there's a beauty in coming up with something, and I think Popl does this when someone experiences that pop and the screen comes up and it's like, because they've just asked me for my number or something, it's like you just see on their face like, hey, you just did something that I wanted. I didn't even know I wanted. I didn't even know that this was like available, and it just makes so much sense. Like, thank you. So yeah, sometimes people don't know what they want, so you got to listen in a different way. You get to listen to what's down below. The faster horse isn't going to happen.
Yeah.
Sweet. So let us know how we can contact you and how to get signed up with Popl.
Contact me. You can contact me via email, Bry, BRY, at Popl, POPL.co. And then, of course, if you get in contact with me via any channels, my Popl link is there, and you can always catch me at poplme.co/Bry, and you'll see all my links that I want you to see, and you can contact me on those. And you can set up your Popl by downloading the free Popl app and walking through the onboarding steps. And you don't need a Popl device to use Popl. You could use an in-app QR code, or you can use a Popl device, and you can get that on popl.co. Feel like I just ran an ad.
You did. That was super efficient. It was great.
Yeah, it was good.
I was sitting here thinking that you're here because I had a need. I was like, I need to have something to communicate with people, and I don't have time to wait for business cards to print. So I just searched and ended up finding Popl, and I signed up, and immediately your contact came into my my Popl. So you make yourself very available to connect, and so I think it's brave. It's, I don't know, as a dad, it might be a little scary, but thank you.
Well, we're here to connect with everyone that wants to connect with us and use Popl. So happy to add value. I see your point. But it's a good way to help people see what a connection can look like in Popl, and to connect with people who run podcasts and want to share Popl with their world.
Yeah. Cool.
So thank you. The Popl, POPL. It's the app. It's black, it's white, and it's good to go. So
thanks for being with us, Bry.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
All right.